Hey, you guys. Alrighty. Was just on TikTok. I know it's been a minute, but interesting. I hope I do apologize. I'm not as consistent as I'd like to be on YouTube, but we'll see how things go. I've missed you guys though tremendously. If it's not one thing, it's another. But I'm here today. We're using the Oracle of the Roses deck. I do have the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. I don't know. I wanted to go something a little classic, but for some reason, I feel like that is not for my YouTube people. This is because I'm shuffling. I just picked it up. I started shuffling, and we got 3 roses. The Father, Mountain Rose. All right, I'm going to read from the book so you understand it and we get a clear meaning. I think this is important. This is very important. The Scientist, the Wild Rose, the Memorial Rose. Okay, and I'll give you some information. The book provides some factual information on these roses as well, in case you're interested in growing some of your own. Another Wild Rose, the Democrat, and that is like interesting. Wow, the Carolina Rose. All right. Wow. I mean, if I'm going by the names, there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done. A lot of... I'm thinking like in terms of how would a father think? How would a father plan? You know what I mean? Could be you have a strong father figure who's currently with you, who may be questioning the things or encouraging you to question or getting you to think about things in a different way. It could be father as in, who you put your belief in a spiritual form. Are you questioning them, or are you questioning? Is this father, the spiritual father, helping you to question certain things in your life? And then we have the Democrat. So the Democrat, I automatically think of justice, not necessarily like justice, the justice card itself, like being balanced. No, more about, I don't know if it's necessarily just political, but it's more of like, damn, how do I explain that? The Democrat. It's like, what are your values, right? What do you want? Democrats are known to be liberals, right? So are you a liberal? But again, we're not looking at this from like a political standpoint. This is more of like on a spiritual self journey type of thing. Like, what do you believe in? What is it that you care for? And excuse the hair is not hairing today. So I'm looking at him like, oh my gosh, my hair is wild. Right. It's okay. Very interesting perspective, I think, too. Or if you're thinking that I have an interesting perspective, thank you. This is kind of getting you to think outside of the box. Get out of your comfort zone is exactly what I'm getting. Yeah, I feel like new growth is happening. Because if you look at all of them, you'll see, what do you notice? You have the full blooming flower, and you got other flowers, other buds getting ready to bloom as well. The leaves, look how the leaves are growing full. right? From small to larger, some are full. So there is growth. You have grown in certain aspects of yourself. This journey you've been on has helped you to grow in different ways. The way you think, your perspective. Oh shoot, that goes with the scientist, right? The scientist, keep in mind that a scientist in actuality follows a series of steps, the scientific method, right? The 7 steps of the scientific method. And we have the Democrat. um so it's like questioning question it's not just questioning, it's putting to the test, right? Because you're going to come up with a hypothesis. And then you're going to go, you have a question, you come up with a hypothesis, which is a possible prediction of the outcome of the experiment. And then you're going to do the experiment, right? And you got your various steps of the experiment. That's like steps, like what, like 2 to 6. And then step 7 is your final conclusion. And it has to be something that can be tried and proven again and again. And although it's something that's been tried and proven again and again, I kind of wonder what with the Democrat here, is there another way? And I think that's what that is. But let's look into the book. Whew. That was, I don't know, heartfelt, heavy in some way. Number 10 for the father. That I don't know, that's crazy. 10, 11, 1 is important. The number 1 is important because 10 the number 10 has the number 1 in it. This is very, like, for me, very beginning energy, new world, and not new world, but more of like new foundation type of energy. That's important. Okay, so just keep that foundation. Like, what is this foundation for you going to look like? I think is what you need to start on. The father is the mountain rose. Its scientific name is the Rosa pendulina. The oracle meaning just so you see what I'm seeing, right? So you see, okay. And that way you know that I'm you have an idea of the format of the guidebook, okay? Oracle meaning the real power to begin anything in your life is ultimately yours, though you may be influenced, blocked, or gifted with opportunities. It is up to you to create the action needed for making a foray out into the world. What did I just say? And this is just on an intuitive level, and look what we're reading. Crazy. It's awesome, though. I love it. It's up to you to create the action needed for making a foray out into the world. And remember, I did say, what is that new foundation going to look like? Perhaps patience is needed or more study before your plans can unfold, right? The scientific method, the different steps. What are you... Dang, the father, foundation. What did I just say? Okay. Or maybe you are trying to do something that is not truly aligned with your passions, values, and calling. The father takes time to make trusted decisions that others can rely on. They are courageous and capable while inspiring a quiet type of leadership that is comforting and steadfast. Remember, it's like coming out of that. Damn, I just said all this. What are the useful lessons I have learned in life from an authority higher than myself? What did I say? The father could be, maybe you have an actual father, your spiritual father, whether it's the creator that you can consider as a father, for example, God and Allah, right? Is it like maybe your actual father has passed away, a grandfather, someone that you see as a father who is, in the other realms now. What I think it's like drawing from them, learning from them, and then taking that and how can you apply it to yourself, to your daily life. Okay. It's really great. It's really interesting. Okay. Botanical note: the mountain rose is native to Central and Southern Europe. It's named for the mountainous areas it's generally found in, and the Latin name pendulina refers to the habit of the hips hanging like pendulums. Mountain rose is a shrub, but it can ramble and it grows in height to between 3 and 6 feet, which is 1 to 2 meters. It can become invasive in many environments and is therefore banned in some areas of the world. But if you can grow it, you will need full sun, free draining soil that is rich in either loamy or slightly clay. Flowers in early spring. Its meanings and uses are protection, courage, guidance, study, and authority. Its deities are Uranus, Saturn, and Demeter. Its astrological sign of Capricorn. Yo, that all makes sense. That's so freaking cool. Anyways, let's go to the scientist, which is the next one over. So you get it, right? You see how the father figure comes in and how it's important in this aspect of your life, my dear YouTube collective. The scientist, which is a memorial rose, it's if I told you what word I just saw in my head, see, I don't necessarily hear the words. I see the words. I see the message. It's almost like, like I'm reading. So that's how I see the word in my mind. Listen, am I witchy? Are you witchy? Don't worry about me. Okay, that's not important. A little bit. Okay, there. Okay. But that it's not about that. It's about this. The message. El mensaje. The message, right? So the scientist, right? So anything, it's also known as the memorial rose. It is a wild rose. Its scientific name is, that's why witchy came to mind. Look at that. The scientific name is Rosa Witcheriana. Look, how close can I get it? See? All right, see? I share because I want you guys to know. It's oracle meaning anything can help you find a solution if you're willing to let go of what you feel and even think and just stop, listen, and look. Don't fear the unknown, but also avoid over analyzing. Try a new way, getting out of your comfort zone. Gather additional information, experiment, and while you may not find the complete answer, explorations can often set you in the right direction. Hence the scientific method, coming out of your comfort zone. What can you do? A new foundation. That's always better than stagnation or worse, falling backwards. The scientists will work out the question first before setting up the experiment, using true tests and carefully analyzing the outcomes. Right? So that's the study and the research that you have to do. And it's, again, I think I said this to my TikTok collective. It's going to require a period of hermit mode, right? Which can be definitely hard because if who I'm reaching out to, because not everybody's going to come across this, not everybody's going to listen to this, okay? Okay, I almost panicked, thought it wasn't recording for a second. They're like, no. So I will give you an example. I'm going to use myself an example because it's recent. It just happened last night. I was just thinking. I think a lot in my head. You can blame the fact that I'm a Sagittarius sun with a Gemini moon, right? And my rising is in Cancer. So I live here often, more than I care to admit. I'm not always as fully present. So I say that because as at night, I tend to imagine certain imaginary scenarios, possibilities of things that can happen. This is my way of overanalyzing, overthinking, right? Now, keep in mind, I've done all this already. I processed what I needed to process that last night. And I think is why I felt so much better and with enough, not just enough, but with this beautiful energy I feel to finally come to YouTube and give you guys a message that you are definitely needing. And it helps that I have an example for you guys. So as I'm overanalyzing, creating imaginary scenarios, because this is the way I process, right? And so I'm in a way prepared for whatever may come my way, how to respond, how to react, all of that. I think in a way that's kind of why I'm very blasé, and I a lot of things don't really faze me. So, um, in a way, because I'm kind of prepared, and part of that, in a way, kind of meditating to a certain point, and certain things became clear to me in that moment. Um, and one of the things that also has come clear to me is seeing the hermit himself. You know how in traditional tarot decks how he appears, right? So it's kind of like how I saw him. Saw his, light skinned face, his beard, mustache type, that thing with his brown hooded robe. He's wearing the hood. His face, the wrinkles, the nose, like I saw the details. I saw it all. And he's playing a pan flute, right? And his eyes are kind of closed, right? But it wasn't important for me to look at his eyes. But for you, it matters if it helps. They were very, very light, not necessarily almost like a crystal clear color eyes. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to you. But he's a beautiful, handsome man, older gentleman, of course. And I just felt like, okay, I need to go back into hermit mode for some reason. For me, that's hard because I've been in hermit mode literally for years. In a way, I still kind of am. But this hermit mode is different. The hermit mode I've been in is very isolated, very solitary. And I don't have an issues with being isolated or solitary. I enjoy my solitude. I literally do. I need time. But I'm ready to come out of that, right? So for me to see him, I'm like, why? Why again? I'm ready to come out. I want to go outside and play. I'm ready to be outside, right? Especially now that, we're in spring season. But this type of hermit mode is different. This is not a hermit mode of necessarily physically isolating myself. This is a hermit. I'm sorry, because I'm talking. I may not be looking directly, but I'm thinking, right? I'm so you understand, why my eyes are the way they are. This hermit mode is about looking, this time definitely looking within yourself, not just in a spiritual mode, but what is it that you really want? And what are you going to do to get there? And that's why we have both the Father and the Scientist. And that's why these cards are extremely, extremely important. And the energy, it's a beautiful energy. It's a strong energy. I want to say even fierce, right? Because Saturn is no joke. But it's an energy also of great abundance, and it's almost like look how it goes from the Father to the Scientist. Look how much green there is in between the two. The Scientist, seems to be more growing, more greenery, right? As far as the leaves are concerned, so there's an abundance and a prosperity that's coming. Look how beautiful, full, and green and lush those leaves look, right? It's on a smaller, it looks small, but it's grown in its own way. So that's what that's what you're trying to reach. How are you going to make this happen? And so that's what this hermit mode is. What is it that you want, and how are you going to make it happen? What do you want it to look like? And one of the best ways I think I can explain for you to help you achieve this is to work backwards, right? By working backwards, you need to think about really, really focus. Okay, what do I want this to look like? What is this goal that I want? And work backwards. Because as you work backwards, you're gonna pause at certain points because there are details that you need to figure out. The fine details, the fine print, so to speak. That's what you need to figure out. And when you're working in the normal way, you won't know about these fine details until you get there, right? But by working backwards, you're already working on all of that. So then when you begin and you start, even though you don't have a full proof plan, you can. But life is life. It's going to life its way no matter what. You're going to have little curveballs here and there. But the fact is that you're prepared for it as much as possible so that when it happens, you're not going to stumble. You're not going to trip. You'll be able to say, oh, I saw that. Let me walk around it. And you keep going. Okay. That's the whole point. So maybe working backwards, having some kind of a blueprint. Over on TikTok, I've mentioned blueprint a few times. I think that's important, and I think that's the purpose of this. So that was the scientist, right? Right. Yeah. And the botanical notes is that it's the memorial rose. It's native to eastern China, Korea, and Japan, named after German botanist Max Ernst Wichura. That explains the name, the scientific name. 1817-1866, who collecting the species while attached to the Prussian diplomatic mission in the Far East. He was also a lawyer and appointed in 1859 as a government counselor. Memorial rose is a shrub with a trailing habit that makes it an excellent ground cover, growing to 20 by 20 feet, which is 6 by 6 meters, and needs a moist, free draining soil. Most types will suit. This rose does prefer full sun but can tolerate light shade as well. Flowers midsummer to early autumn. Plant energies, its meanings and uses, creation, ideas, experimentation, discovery, analysis, deities, Asclepius, the Muses, Hermes, Apollo, and the astrological sign of Capricorn, another Capricornian card, which all leads to the Democrat, number 1. Crazy how that works out, huh? I haven't used this deck in such a long time. I like it because it talks about how to grow roses, buying roses, sun, temperature, humidity, water, soil. Autumn is the perfect time to get your intended rose beds ready for winter planting, by the way. All right, number 1, the Democrat, the Carolina rose. Rosa Carolina is a scientific name. Try not. Okay. Got it? All right. Many of us believe we are being fair and just, but is it simply our belief and our filters that make us feel somehow righteous? Seek balance and create greater focus on equality in what you are doing by silencing your inner voice and personal views for a moment. Is this really fair, and does it take into account longer-term possibilities, not only for others, but also yourself? The Democrat acknowledges outside influences as relevant to them, even if they do not agree with them. They will clear space to listen, to observe, and to understand the needs, positions, and goals of other people and institutions. The ethnobotanical archetype exploration, it's not just about me. What and who is it that I need to make space for in my life? So, example, if you are someone who is interested in attracting a partner, again, what does that life look like? And this is how you plan backwards, because you need to think about all these things in order to have a better foolproof plan. If you have children, ask them for their opinions, what they think, what do they want, what do they expect, what does the ideal life look like for them? That's also going to be important. Being present, being in the moment is also going to be important, right? Holding yourself accountable, taking care of yourself and those around you, those that you love, all of that is going to be important. It's going to be necessary, especially if you want to attract somebody into your life. All right? Yeah. Taking care of your body is going to be important. The sensualist. Being comfortable in your own skin. La France rose, the modern garden rose, the old garden rose with the companion. Oh yeah, you're seeking. the companion rose, the Provence rose. It's an old garden rose. We have the centralist, which is a modern rose, and the seeker. So you're seeking. Look at the seeker. I love that flower. Ooh, I think I want Mrs. Robert Perry Rose and the explorer. You might have to the gambler too. Look at the gambler. It's gonna require you to kind of telling you getting out of your comfort zone, taking a gamble, a risk. It's almost like the Fool card, right? A new beginning, taking a leap of faith. But this is not just any leap of faith. This is a leap of faith into investing into yourself. This is a type of to get you out of a hermit mode that you've been in, where not only are you coming and ready to come out to play, not necessarily play, but like you don't need to be so isolated, so withdrawn from the world, from society, but more of like a hermit mode where you spend some time thinking about what you want, what it's going to look like, and what you're going to do to get that, right? The liberator and the scientist. There's freedom in this, but freedom, responsible freedom. You need to be responsible with your freedom, because you can't be careless and reckless. You can't afford to be that way anymore. It's important to really have some type of a plan that you can stick to, and be accountable for yourself. All right, friends. I hope that truly helps. Keep in mind that my intention, my goal is more for guidance, and helping you to make the best decision that is in your highest interest, right? And if you should need me, and you would like a reading from me, because I don't know. I have, huh. I guess I'm included in this too. I need to go recreate my website. But in the meantime, you can email me at my old email, which is chillin, CHILLIN, on ONE, letter E, chillin on E, tarot, TAROT, at gmail.com. You can get it. Just ask me your questions and I'll send you a video recording of your reading. So until the next time, take care and good luck. Let me know how this all resonates with you in the comments. See you. Bye.